Hiya. Right, very quickly, I'm going to show you and tell you exactly what you need to know and do in order to be a successful property developer. If you don't know me, my name's Paul Higgs. I'm a chartered planning and development surveyor. I've been doing this for 41 years. For 10 years, in the middle of that 41 years, I worked for the PLC house builders and I was head of land for Barrett Developments, the biggest developer in the country. I started off doing small refurbs. I built my first single new build house in 1988. So basically, from the biggest of the big to the smallest of the small, I've been there, seen it and done it. I've got 100% track record at winning planning. So the only reason I tell you all of that is just to really emphasize whatever you might have heard elsewhere, this is exactly how it really works. Okay, so property development is a business. Business is about balancing risk and reward. In property development, the risk is really how much time you need to spend on things, how much money you need, and how much expertise you need. Yeah, so that's effectively your risk. The reward is obviously how much money you can make, the financial reward, but also, really importantly, how much social value you could create, how much good stuff, homes for people that you can be proud of and they can be happy in. So that's the reward, yeah? Now, this is how it really works, and this is the really important bit, yeah? As you go through the property development process, the risk increases, but also the reward, yeah? And there are three key stages. And I'm going to explain what they all mean in a sec. So, land, planning, and design. And then at the end of the process, build. Now, importantly, lots of people get this completely the wrong way around. I did myself. I wanted to be a developer since I was a kid. Did my first little refurb. Me and my mate built a house when we were 17, did it up at evenings and weekends. I studied construction management, became a site engineer, then a site manager, doing slightly bigger deals, all with a view to becoming a proper property developer. I was studying construction stuff because I thought that's what you had to do to be a developer. You had to know construction and building inside out. You don't. Having said that, if you do, that is excellent. It's a fantastic advantage. It's really useful. So, for example, if you're a builder or contractor, so you already know how to do all of that bit, that's fantastic. But actually, that alone is not enough. All of the clever money and the value is created way before you get to the building bit, okay? So, and when I talk about land, I'm talking about the site, the building, the opportunity. It's the canvas to which we add value, yeah? And the value is added through planning and design, yeah? So, if you remember, this is the on the reward scale. Obviously, that's your highest reward. So let me grab another pen because the pen is running out. So remember, this is reward, yeah? Now, actually, there's a lot of value to be had and created at the land stage. So finding the right opportunities and securing them on the right terms. And in fact, that bit's absolutely key because it doesn't matter how good you are at the rest of it. Everything starts with land. So that means finding the deal, finding the site, finding the opportunity. And now this is a really important bit, without loads of competition. So you don't get involved in situations whereby you're bidding against other people and you basically you have to bid your potential profit margin away before you even started. It's the worst possible thing you can do. So people talking about looking for sites on Rightmove and things like that. I'm not saying you can never, ever, ever find an opportunity on Rightmove, but things like that is completely the wrong thing to do. You've got to focus on getting really good at finding 100% off market sites. And there's a few key things that you need to do in order to do that. Yeah. But anyway, everything starts with land. Then, and this is probably the key learning, the most important thing of all of land planning and property development you need to know is this bit here. The bit in the middle, and remember this is reward, yeah? The bit in the middle, planning and design, is where all of the value is created. Right, just a quick one. Whether you are a massively experienced and well-established property developer already, or maybe you're a new or aspiring one, either way, you will know that it is really not easy to find viable opportunities to come up with the best scheme, the best design that's going to maximise the land value and fully de-risk things for you, and then to go on to get the very best planning permissions as quickly as possible. But however experienced you are, you will know that that is not an easy thing. I have put together a super detailed scorecard based on my 40 years experience in this industry, reverse engineering everything that I've learned, including lots and lots of mistakes over the years, and everything I've done to maintain, touch wood, 100% planning track record. I'm pretty sure there will be stuff that you don't know. Go and do that scorecard. Find out just how good or not your current process is, and I absolutely guarantee you will learn at least a little something, if not a ton. So it's bit.ly/MLA score, all in capitals. You can do the Millbank Land Academy scorecard. I absolutely guarantee you will find some interesting stuff, and it will help you get much better deals. So what that means is you have to understand planning and design, and even for people that are looking at doing permitted development schemes and commercial conversions and things like that, thinking that someone's told them that it's easy money and stuff like that. It isn't. There is nothing super easy in this business. And even though permitted development is a slightly fast-tracked planning route, if and when you do it right, all the rules have changed. So 80% of what you need to do for a full planning application, you still need to know and do for a permitted development application. Yeah. So there is just no odds in you have to know about planning and design. That's the bit where all of the value is created. Yeah. So if the sort of area of this amount of space equated to the value, as you can see, it's this bit in the middle where the massive value is created. The bit at the end that lots of people get focused on, and I used to start with everything I'm telling you here, I've learned the slow, painful, expensive way by trial and error and years of experience. Right? So I'm just massively short-circuiting this to tell you exactly how it really works, right? The bit at the end of the process, building things, is actually the riskiest, most time-consuming bit with the least return. Yeah. So I mean that's fine if you want to take things through the full development process. So from finding off-market sites with no competition, the start of the process, to building things and exiting the deal, building things that either build to sell, the typical property developers model, or build to rent, build to hold, where you refinance things and you keep them for yourself if that's part of your plan and your strategy. The key bit in the middle of the process is really this bit, adding maximum planning value through understanding how things really work and clever design. So massive value and de-risking by finding off-market development opportunities. Yeah. The real skill and key is to understand planning and design well enough so that you can add maximum value. Now, a really important thing to reiterate here and remember for people is you cannot just go and get an architect and a planning consultant and a few other consultants and get them to do this for you. Yeah. Now, of course, we need architects and planning consultants to do their bit, but they don't understand the full picture. It's not their job to understand the full picture. They're not going to find the sites. They're not going to know how and where to look. They're not going to negotiate with the landowner. They're not going to identify all of the constraints. They're not going to do all the market research. They're not going to do all the early stage stuff that we need to know and do and understand to even work out whether something might be a deal or not. So being overly reliant on consultants is pretty much the worst thing you could do, and probably the biggest mistake that I see people make. Yeah. So there is no odds in. You just have to understand land, planning and design for yourself. Now, that doesn't, of course, mean you have to know everything that a planning consultant knows, everything that an architect knows, everything that a fantastic builder knows. Now, obviously, the more you do know about all of those things, absolutely, the more your business and your profits will be accelerated. But you don't have to know about everything. It just takes a very long time and a lot of experience, obviously. In fact, you don't need to do that because I've done it and I'm telling you what the answer is, right? But you do have to know a lot about how this stuff really works so that you can oversee, manage and coordinate the whole process, right? This is not something that can just be completely outsourced to other people, yeah? Understanding planning and design inside out is the absolute key. If you do know about building as well, then fantastic. But as you can see, that bit alone is a very, very small part of the overall value creation process. Yeah. Now, there's actually quite a lot to be said for getting out here. Yeah. So you find 100% off market deals, negotiate them cleverly without getting involved in stupid competition, secure them on best terms. Ideally, that is actually £1 option agreements. Even now, after 40 plus years, 90% of my deals are done on £1 option agreements. Even though I can go just slapping money down, buying things if I really wanted to, why would I if I can actually control the land with a clever contract and £1? Yeah, so that's the key. So you secure deals on proper, sensible terms. Add maximum planning value. Now, when you've got them to this point here, as you can see, most of the value has already been created, yeah? So if you do want to be building things, then fantastic, because you created a massive insurance policy, yeah, to cover the slow, risky, complicated stage, the build bit, yeah? You created a massive insurance policy if you do it this way. Or if you don't want to get involved in that bit, you can exit the deal at this point by assigning your option agreement. So basically letting someone step into your shoes where they just take your contract over after you've added all of the value. So that is basically how it works. That, honestly, this is the absolute key to property development. Everything starts with land, finding the deal, finding the opportunity, off market without getting involved in stupid competition, and then knowing how to optimize schemes to maximize the land value and your profit. That is basically it. Obviously, easier said than done. There is a way, there is a system, there is a process that I basically put together to explain to people and teach people by reverse engineering everything that I've done and learned over the last 40 plus years. But that really is it. So this was just a super short one this week in case, you new to the Inside Property Development podcast, or maybe you haven't quite realised this, I have talked about it before. We've got a specific episode on £1 option agreements. So if you haven't watched that one, go and have a look. And importantly, if you've got any questions at all on any of this stuff, send me a message, put them in the chats, put it in the comments, because going forward, the plan is to make these things much, much more interactive. So any questions about land planning and property development you want covered, any questions on this, what I've said here today, any questions on anything in general, let me know and I will be covering it on future episodes. Hopefully that's been useful. As I say, I know it's a super quick one, it's a super short one this week, but hopefully that's got the message across. Property development is all really about finding the best deals, minimizing competition, and then adding maximum value so that you've de-risked the process before you start. That's the key. All the biggest and best developers know this and do this. All the major house builders do this. That's how they've survived and thrived for so long. This honestly is the key. Anyone that tells you anything different is talking out of their arse. Hopefully that's been of use. Don't forget to like, comment and share if there's anything more you need to know. All right, thanks a lot. Thanks for tuning in to Inside Property Development. Please remember to like and subscribe. Do join us every week where we'll be speaking to house builders, developers, experts, planners and everyone involved in trying to get more much needed housing created the right way. We'll learn together how we can collaborate rather than fight, and by working together we can all help create better places, spaces and homes and a much more beautiful world.